Hello everyone, this is Petra, your favorite lactation consultant here with Unimom today, and we're going to be going over one of their newest pumps today. I know everyone's really excited. They just came out with a new pump called the Opera, so I'm going to be walking you through that pump and all of its really neat features right now. And then also I'm going to give you a couple of tips that I like to tell my new moms to really help maximize their milk supply. Sometimes we think we know all the things about pumping, but there are a couple of tricks and tips I like to tell my mommies whenever they are pumping. So let's just get right into it, shall we? So let me first start with what the new pump, the Opera, looks like, right? So this is the Opera, like I said, completely brand new, super cute, very light. You know, that's the biggest thing I really want to get away with this. It's very not heavy. It's about the size of my hand, maybe 2 hands. It's a little bit bigger, and maybe a couple pounds, probably 2. It's a very, very light pump. So that's the very first thing that I would like to let you guys know about this, is A, just how cute it is. B, you know, it's not all about being cute. That's just an added mom bonus, right? We like things that are adorable. Why else would we have babies, right? But beyond that too, it's very, very functional and very, very useful. They've absolutely made this pump with mommies in mind, which is very nice. So one of the first key features about the pump, which I really like, is it has a light. I don't know if you guys saw that. I pushed this little button right here and let there be light. I'm sure you guys can see some shine on my face right now, which is pretty funny. So this is great for any of you night pumpers, right? Any of you guys pumping at night. I don't know how many of you have looked for your phone or turning on that flashlight. We've all been there, right? Or like turning on our lamp and then we're freaking out that we're gonna wake someone else in the room, such as a baby. But this pump with it actually has a tiny little light, and you could decide how bright it is. So that's just a really, really nice, again, it doesn't help with pumping, but it really does help with pumping, right? It helps you be able to see what you can do. And again, one of those key features for Unimom, really speaking and talking to mothers and understanding what moms need to make pumping as successful as possible. So that is a fabulous little feature that we have here with the Opera pump. Also, I have it charged in the back right now, but what's really, really nice about this pump is it is a rechargeable battery. So though I'm charging it right now, if I actually unplug this, I could still use it and it would be ready to go. All I would need is the pump itself and of course my flanges and all that fun stuff. So let's talk about some of those features as well, because you know you can't pump with all these items, right? So the pump does have comes with bottles, comes with its flanges, which the flanges, just so you guys are reminded, are the part that goes onto your breast, right? It does come in 2 different sizes. This is the 24 that I'll be showing you today. But they do also have the bigger size, which I believe is a 29, I think it is. But they have the bigger size as well for you larger breasted ladies. So got everyone in mind. And of course, if you guys are smaller or are bigger, they have other sizes as well. So always, keep in mind that Unimom does have interchangeable parts. These are the tubes that do go directly into the pump. And of course, just like any other pump, you attach the bottle, put it here. This is the key, one of those keys to your pump. It's a little white plastic and we call it a stopper. It helps with the airflow. You need to make sure that it's on. If you guys forget it and you don't put, you put your pump together and you start pumping without it, you probably will notice that your pump doesn't work. Check to make that key little piece is there. So from there, you're gonna make sure that all your parts are on, and that will make the pump. You will go ahead, you see this little piece up here, there's a little tiny notch, what I'm pointing to right there, and you're going to make sure that your pump is attached, and bada bang, bada boom, your pump is working. Great, or when I turn it on, it will start working. But that's really the key pieces of your pump. The nice thing about the Opera is it does have, it's a dual, it's a hospital grade pump. Meaning that it can actually have 2 different batteries on there, and it could be multi-user, meaning yes, if you needed to and someone else had their own pumping kit, which a pumping kit would be the bottles and the tubes, you could actually share this pump, because it's a closed system pump, right? Meaning that there won't be gunkiness getting in the pump, which if you've ever opened any pumps before, things grow. But this pump actually would not, because it is a closed system. So that's really, really nice, and of course making sure that our milk is nice and clean for our babies. But that being said, since it is a closed system, what's really nice is, let's say I just wanted to pump one side or not both sides, Instead of having to put that little key piece, I'm sure you guys have done that before where you have to actually like block the airflow, you could just take it off and it will still run like normal. So that's really nice. Or you can do everything on this touch pad right here. So let me walk you through the different key items of the pump. So like I said, right here is the light, turns everything on. Let me actually go ahead and plug it back in. So again, right there, that's your light piece right there. But if you want to turn on your pump, you just push that little button on the bottom there. So let me walk through this key, this touch screen with you. There's a lot of options that Unimom actually gives you guys. So I'm gonna get as close as I can right here to kind of show you the key features of the pump. So right here is the different modes. So this right here will actually tell you if it's on the top. I think when you guys are looking at it, it's gonna be the top left button for you, it should be. You have the option to actually choose between massage or expression. You might actually hear the difference on the screen right there. So massage is actually gonna be a quicker, you probably hear it right there. Do, 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 do. I'm gonna sing to you guys today. But that's actually a quicker expression. It mimics the baby whenever they're latched onto you. Your baby will do what I like to call butterfly kisses or the massage mode, right? And it actually helps your body to have a letdown. Once your body has that letdown, and whenever you start noticing, maybe you might feel a tingling in your breasts. Some women feel that when they have a letdown, or another clear way to know that you just had a letdown is your milk will really start pushing out into the pump, into the bottles. Then you want to go from that massage mode to the expression mode. And you might hear right there, it's a little bit harder, right? So that's the second, so that's going to be your second when your baby's gulping or swallowing. And what's really nice, and what I recommend to all my moms, so again, I'm kind of giving you guys some of my tips right now, is I do always recommend my moms to go between these two modes, the massage and the expression. Most pumps will just go from one and they'll go straight to the other. Unimom does have a couple of expressions that kind of will go back and forth. But again, I always say just manual, because you can tell when your body is kind of maybe not having as much milk come out anymore. You'll go straight to that massage expression again, and then whenever you start having that let down again, go straight into the expression phase. So that is that button right there, again, kind of to the top left. If you look on the top right though, there's a lot of different buttons here too, and you're like, man, what does mode mean, right? So what Unimom is able to do is actually gives you options on how you want to pump. So right now I have single L, which will mean single left, right? And so actually you can pump one breast at a time, even with most of these things hooked in, which is super nice because sometimes I just don't want to think about attaching articles on a pump, right? So single left would be me only pumping my single left breast. Maybe your baby just ate on one side and ate on the other. That would be enough time to use that. Same with single right. You can go either or, one side or the other. You can do synchronous, where they of course are going to both be pumped at the same time. And then we'll have alternating. So you can do one side on one pump, the other side on the other pump. So there are a couple different modes that you can choose from. I'll be honest, I typically tell my moms, to do single left or single right if, maybe when the baby didn't eat on one side and you just want to keep up your milk supply, or you just want to pump a little bit extra. But beyond that, synchronous is the way to go, right? So we talked about the top screen up here. Let's also talk a little bit about the cycle and the vacuum. So the cycle is actually how fast we're gonna have the pump go. So right now it's on synchronous. You can tell it's going fast right now. Do bump, do bump. So it's going a little bit faster right there. Sorry, I played with the vacuum too. The vacuum, since I'm playing with that anyway, the vacuum is how strong it is. You guys probably hear right now how heavy that is. But when I go down, you can tell it's not as strong anymore. So vacuum, you can kind of think of your strength of suction. That's what your vacuum is going to be. And so you're gonna wanna play with that, right? So you don't want to be so strong that you're walking away with bloody nipples or in a lot of pain, but you do want to be as strong on that vacuum to actually have an effective milk removal. Okay, so we always say pump to expression, not to pain. So if you are in pain in any way, shape, or form, then reduce that vacuum. Okay. Now cycle 2, some women, and again, this is where I think it's really great, this pump, because you can individualize. And as you know, no two women are the same, no two babies are the same, no two breasts are the same. So what's really nice is that you really can individualize with this pump. So maybe you're the woman that actually notices more milk come out if the cycle, or like you get more pumps in a minute. That's what a cycle is, right? How many times we're actually sucking on that breast in a minute. Maybe you notice that you get the more milk out that way. So you're really going to increase that cycle there, and you're really going to maybe decrease the vacuum. Maybe you notice it doesn't have to be that strong, it just needs to be quick, right? That's how you guys can think about it. Vacuum is going to be strength, cycle is going to be quickness, okay? But the opposite could be true as well. Maybe you notice a lot more milk if it's really, really strong, but not so quick, right? So maybe we're really going to put some time in between the cycles there, which I'm not hitting it very well right now. And that could actually really help you as well, just depending on what you need to do for your own body. So those are really the main key features of the Opera pump. Again, what's really nice about this pump, it's, for being a hospital grade pump, very light, very compact, very affordable. And again, it has a lot of those key features that keep mothers in mind, right? With that night light, being able to have a rechargeable battery that actually you can go, again, a lot of these times, most pumps that I know don't have rechargeable batteries. You actually have to have a battery pack or something. This one, not so much. So as long as you charge it up, you can take it wherever you need to be to pump. If that battery's charged, you're good to go. And if not, then hey, bring your outlet, stick it in an outlet somewhere, and you're gonna be fine. That being said, I did say I was going to give you some tips and tricks for making sure that you get enough milk supply, right? So first of all, with anyone that's pumping, what I will always tell women, pumping we have to do, right? It's one of those things, especially for working and everything like that, or if we want to go have a night out on the town, we always need a pump. But beyond that, try to make sure that you're breastfeeding as much as you can. If that's, kind of your goal, if you're not exclusively pumping, if you're breastfeeding, try to breastfeed as much as you can. That will absolutely help your milk supply increase or stay where it needs to be. The second thing to do is, if you are pumping frequently, is you need to pump, or, either if you're exclusively pumping, or if you're pumping, maybe when you're at work or something like that, you need to pump how your baby would breastfeed. So let's take, for example, the mother that is pumping for work. If during maybe that 8 or 9 hour day, usually 9, maybe more, depends on what we do, right? We need to pump how frequently your baby does. So if your baby is a baby that eats a lot during the day, like maybe every 2 hours, you need to pump every 2 hours, right? Or at least every 3 hours. If you're the kind of, if the kind of baby that maybe doesn't eat as frequently during the day but eats a lot at night, then we have to kind of replicate that as well. Typically, babies will eat anywhere between 8 to 12 times a day. It really depends on how old the kiddo is, and so we need to mimic that, but no less than 8 if they're only breastfeeding, right? They would not come to the breast any less than 8 times, really. So that being said, to my exclusive pumping mommies, I know a lot of moms who are exclusive pumpers, and a lot of them try to maybe get away with 4 times a day, 5 times a day. Unfortunately, if you were breastfeeding normally, not that pumping isn't normal, I'm just saying if the baby was coming to the breast, then we would be breastfeeding at least 8 to 10 times a day until they're 6 months old, and then things might change a little bit, maybe, if you're lucky. So again, you have to be pumping every 3 hours, every once in a while, every 4. But anything beyond that, your body will actually tell your breast to stop making breast milk through inhibitor proteins. Yes, there's actually a protein that your body will make to be like, dude, we made too much, my bad, and that will decrease the milk supply. So we have to remove milk frequently, at least 8 times a day. That's like my bare minimum for most mothers, okay? Second thing, to make pumping as beneficial as possible, one thing you can do is put heat on your breasts. Heat actually makes pumping faster, so it doesn't increase your milk supply, but it does maybe decrease your time, and we all know that time is money. So if you guys put like a warm compress on your breast or something a little bit warm, like right before you're about to go pump, then you should be good to go and really help increase, again, just get that milk out a little bit faster, which can be very convenient sometimes. How long to pump? 15 minutes both sides at the same time, right? Unless we talked about those some other situations, but really 15 minutes needs to be your time. I would rather actually my mom's less frequently, or sorry, more frequently, less often. Sorry, I'm saying this weird. I would rather have my moms pump more frequently, less time, than sit there for like 20 or 30 minutes on a pump and only pump like 4 or 5 times a day. So since I kind of butchered my sentencing, I'm sorry. What I was trying to say is I would rather a mom pump maybe 10 times a day, and each time they only pump for 10 minutes, than my mom's pump 4 times a day, 5 times a day, and sit there for 30 minutes. Your body would actually be more responsive and make more milk for those 10 times a day for 10 minutes. So I never will tell my moms to pump more than 15 minutes, both breasts at the same time, right? So it'd be like a 30-minute eating session. But again, if you're worried about milk supply or anything like that, fit in a 5-minute pumping, fit in a 10-minute pumping. Just stick it in where you can, and that's the movement we do. Just because a little bit more frequency will absolutely help your milk supply. And last but not least, if you're very concerned about milk supply, a lot of women will just sit there and kind of, maybe they have the pumping bras, which pumping bras are great, but they just kind of let the machine do its job, which, pumps are great. They do suck breast milk out of your breast, but breasts don't, or whenever a baby feeds on your breast, they don't just suck the milk. They also will massage it with your tongue, with your tongue, with their tongue. And so I always will tell my moms to actually do what's called hands-on pumping, which is where you'll take your hands, exactly what it sounds like, and actually massage those breasts while you are breast pumping, because that will actually increase the milk supply. So you can think of it as your baby is sucking out the milk, or your pump is sucking out the milk, while you yourself are squeezing out the milk. Makes sense that you would get out more milk, right? And added bonus, your milk will be fattier too, because you're really getting that fat out with your hands. So those are my fun facts for today. That was the opera. I hope you had a good time. You learned a couple of things. Any questions, concerns, comments, you need further understanding on something, please make comments, reach out to Unimom. We're here to make your breastfeeding journey successful. You guys all have your own personalized goals. Unimom is here to make sure that your goals are reached. So please leave comments, please reach out, please call. We are here for you. Thanks guys. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.